too.
Of a straightforward, well-liked man for no reason anyone can work out. John Green was in his mid-30s. He wasn't a very ambitious man, and he made a basic living from a variety of occasional jobs. Because his lifestyle was a fairly simple one, and he lived rent-free in a property belonging to his mother, he wasn't too concerned about earning money. John lived in Poole in Dorset, and police need to hear from anyone who came into contact with him, particularly in the last few days before he died. It was on the evening of Saturday the 2nd of February that John's body was found at his home. Our reconstruction begins the week before his death. John had held a party at his basement flat. It was Saturday the 26th of January. John was usually rather shy and awkward in company. But that night, in his own flat and surrounded by friends, he was relaxed and sociable. The party was to celebrate the birthday of a close friend of his, Jude Holliday.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, hi, Tom, all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, I can't some fresh air. It's so hot,
I know, it's a great party.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Brilliant, okay.
I'm glad you're enjoying it too.
I'll see you later.
Okay.
Oh, John! Hi, come over and join us. Do you know Andy? This is Andy.
Oh, hi.
I've known John for 15 years as a friend. He was quiet, unpretentious, shy, really, man. He had a wide range of friends. He was intelligent, active mind. All his friends would agree with me that he was a gentle giant and would never hurt a fly.
Yeah, it's nice to see everybody again.
I always sit up in the kitchen.
The party went on into the small hours. There are still a few partygoers police need to speak to. They may have witnessed something significant or be able to provide some extra information about John. Above John's basement flat is a shop which he rarely used. It was in the Branksome area of Poole on the busy main road to Bournemouth. The windows were usually whitewashed, but shortly after the party, John had scrubbed them down. The first of an unusual series of events that week was an appointment on Tuesday the 29th of January. A meeting at a roadside cafe with an unnamed person.
Oh, there you are.
Then, on Thursday, John's next-door neighbour heard shouting through the wall.
Every night I know if you don't watch it.
No, you won't.
I bloody well will.
You know I was pissed out of my head that night.
I could hear the conversation quite clearly through the wall, and I was absolutely horrified to hear this woman threaten to knife a man. I then heard some running footsteps and quickly rushed into the lounge to look through the window and just caught a glimpse of a woman.
Later that same evening, other neighbours heard shouts and thumps coming from his shop. Whatever may have happened, the following day John seemed untroubled. In fact, this local shopkeeper, who saw him around lunchtime, said he seemed unusually cheerful.
Oh, hello.
But only a couple of hours later, outside his shop, a witness saw someone fitting John's description and looking pale and frightened, involved in a tussle. No one seems to have seen John alive since then. The next evening, Saturday, shortly after 6 o'clock, a woman who had just got off the bus walked past his shop.
Hello.
That man could well have been seen by passengers getting on the bus.
All our fares are recorded on computer, and we can tell from that that on the night in question, 2 concessionary fares were issued at this stop. I was the driver on that night, and I'm fairly sure that I remember 2 elderly women boarding at this stop and carrying on towards Poole with me.
It was only moments after that that a friend of John's came to visit him. She found his body. He'd been repeatedly stabbed. Well, Mr. Homer, does there seem to be any possible reason, as far as you can see, why anybody would have wanted to kill John Green?
No, there doesn't, Sue. Despite the fact that we've looked very carefully into John Green's background, we can't find any reason why anyone would want to kill him. In fact, his friends describe him as a very gentle and genial man, and not the sort of person to confront people, the one that would not seek trouble.
Let's look at those unusual events. There are a number of them during the week before he died. There was the rendezvous at the cafe in his diary on the A33. What might that have been? A business meeting, perhaps?
That's a possibility, but on the other hand, he could have been meeting a friend. We really don't know at the moment, and we do need to find out. What we have established is that the appointment refers to the Little Chef, which is on the A33, about 8 miles north of Basingstoke, at a place called Heckfield.
And this was Tuesday, January the 29th. Somebody may have seen something.
Yes, and I'd like anyone that knew the reason why John Green went there or who he was due to meet to come forward and give us a call tonight.
The other of the mysteries was the sighting of John apparently being harassed by 2 men outside his shop, and that was the last time he was seen alive.
Yes, and that information came to the incident room from an anonymous letter that we received, and the person obviously observed what was going on for several minutes and saw this incident going on the other side of the road outside of John Green's shop. We also know that the author of the letter was waiting for someone to pick them up because their car had broken down.
So the vital thing is for somebody to come forward and perhaps corroborate that sighting for you.
Yes, that's right. I would very much like the writer of the letter to come forward. That's vitally important in my view, because the letter contains information which I know is important to the inquiry. And also it's important to get the person that picked them up to come forward.
Right, and that was Friday the 1st of February at around 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yes, it was. And the descriptions provided by the writer of the letter are that the first man was something around 20 to 24 years of age. He was 5 feet 10 inches tall, and he had light faded blue jeans with a dark blue top. And a very distinctive feature about his particular description is that he had dirty blonde hair, or hair that was auburn colour with blonde highlights in it. And the second man is considerably older, at around 40 years of age, again about 5 feet 10 inches tall, but with dark hair and in need of a shave. He was much thicker set than the first man and had brown trousers on with a lighter brown zip-up top.
So is there a possibility perhaps that one of those 2 men were the same man who was seen by the woman getting off the bus the following evening?
Well, we can't discount that, but on the other hand, we must keep an open mind about it. It could be that that man is not, in fact, connected with the murder inquiry and for some reason doesn't want to come forward. It's very important that we do find out who that person is, and I would ask anyone that knows the description of that man to come forward.
And what is his description?
He's, in fact, described as about 6 feet tall, 35 to 45 years of age, of large build, and wearing denim jeans. And a distinctive feature about him was that he was wearing a very thick, dark green jumper.
All right, now we're talking about shortly before John's body was found, and on the bus, got 2 women pensioners who you need to trace.
Yes, they were getting onto the bus at about 6:15 on Saturday the 2nd of February. We know that they purchased fares, which meant that they got off at the Shah of Persia public house at Poole, and the other one got off at an area called Upton just outside of the town. It's very important that those 2 people contact us, and I'd ask them to ring us tonight. They may have important information, having been waiting at that bus stop.
Right, and there's a reward in this case, isn't there?
Yes, there is, and that's been provided by the family and friends of John Green, and it currently stands at £13,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of John Green's killers. And we're determined that we would like to get to the bottom of that.
Mr. Homer, thank you very much indeed. If you knew John and you haven't yet made contact with the police, or if you can offer any new information to help discover why anyone would want to kill him, please do phone. The number to the studio here is 081 811 8181, or you can ring the incident room in Poole, and that number is 0202 703388. That's 0202, the code for pool, 703388.